This week's televised catechetical program of Boya Diocese Know Your Faith comes back to St. Charles Lwanga Parish in Moliko. Today's session with the teacher of the faith, His Lordship Michael Bibi, pricked audience to a deeper understanding of the sacrament of baptism. Members of the Catholic Women Association CWA have started arriving Boya ahead of their Diamond Jubilee and Convention that starts on Wednesday, 24 July 2024. Biaka University Institute of Boya, BUIP, takes a day to honor God for the life of that institution. They had an annual pilgrimage to the shrine in Sase over the weekend. And also coming up, we feature some young people who are making good use of the long holiday to pick marketer skills. Bella Cakes Academy here in Boya is one shining example in engaging these children for a brighter future. Those were our headlines and news in details right ahead. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for joining us on this very first edition of Divine Mercy Prime for this week. It is the 22nd day of July 2024, and I am Sama Eileen for a presentation. The proper teacher of the Catholic faith in the Diocese of Boya, His Lordship Michael Bibi, has schooled the Christian faithful of the Diocese of Boya on the sacrament of baptism. This was at St. Charles Lwanga Parish, Moliko. The teaching and learning session was witnessed by an active audience with many observations, remarks and questions posed to the prelate and teacher of the Catholic faith in quest for convincing response from the prelate. Reverend Father Martin J. attended today's session and compiled the following report.
As a prelude to today's catechesis from the chief teacher of the faith, His Lordship Michael Bibi, he made recourse to the previous teaching introducing the sanctifying office of the church. He noted that to sanctify is to make holy, and this sanctifying office of the church is exercised in the celebration of the liturgy, the reception of the sacraments, prayer and taking up various prayers and spiritual exercises such as the corporal works of mercy and different gestures of charity as far as the life of the church is concerned. Focusing on the sacrament of baptism, which constitutes one of the means through which this sanctification takes place, the prelate noted that baptism is the gateway to the reception of the other sacraments in the church. He cited the great mandatum given by Christ to his disciples in Matthew chapter 28, verse 19 to 20, with the invitation for his disciples to go to the whole world and proclaim the gospel, and to baptize in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Thus, the Trinitarian formula, following the right matter and form in baptism. The profound teacher of the faith underscored the various ways in which the sacrament of baptism can be administered.
We can have baptism by water, we can have baptism by desire, we can have baptism by blood.
Moving further, it was glaring that in the prelate's teaching, in order to receive a baptism as a catechumen, one needs a sponsor, and the sponsor must be a Catholic, the prelate noted.
The person who is called upon to be the sponsor, the godfather, the godmother, must understand the role that he or she is supposed to play to assist in the Christian upbringing of the child. The person to be a sponsor must not be less than 16 years old, must be a Catholic who has been confirmed and who is also receiving the Blessed Sacrament, and who is living a life of faith which befits the role that the person is to undertake. The person too must not be under any canonical penalty, whether imposed or declared. And of course, the person cannot be
Another interesting point worth noting from the bishop was on the emphasis that adequate preparations on the catechumen to receive the sacraments must be carried out. He also noted that Christians should also learn how to administer the sacrament of baptism with the right intention, using the proper matter and form, especially in danger of death. The session was permeated with lots of interaction between the audience and the prelates, as we get in the following remarks.
He gave 3 types of baptism: by immersion, by pouring of water, and by sprinkling. And the doctrine was so enriching that I think we are blessed to be here, and I will encourage those who are not here to try to join next week in Moliko. It's just around the corner.
So one thing I learned about baptism as a child growing up, the very first sacrament that we always receive in the Catholic Church is baptism. So the bishop has made it clear today that there are 3 types of baptism: the baptism of blood, the baptism of desire, and the sprinkling, baptism of sprinkling.
The very committed audience looks forward to another interesting catechetical session next week.
Now, General Executive members of the Catholic Women Association, CWA, have started arriving Boya ahead of their Golden Jubilee celebration built for Wednesday, 24 July 2024. Our reporter Jamila Tutongtang met with them in the course of the day, and they shared their expectations and experiences with her. Her report.
As Wednesday, the 24th of July 2024 draws near, the General Executives for the Catholic Women Association in Cameroon from all regions have begun making their way into Boya to deliberate on how to cut their T's and dot their I's so as to ensure the entire success of the celebration as CWA turns 60. The women shared their excitement coming to the Southwest region, which is the birthplace for the CWA in Cameroon, after 60 years of existence.
Boya is the birthplace of CWA Cameroon, and we think that 60 years, which is very significant age for any woman, we're talking about grandchildren, we should come back to his birthplace and thank God that the seed that was planted here was fertile ground, and it has grown and grown until we are able to celebrate 60 years.
Arriving here, I felt so impressed because new structures have gone up. I found the women of Boya actively doing their work, and all over I have been receiving informations, receiving pictures that women are preparing seriously for this celebration.
As a CWA member, I will never regret. I will never regret, because following Mami Maria, you think at times you see you are just like you are in the dark, but with Mami Maria you see lights opening. You see that everything is moving well.
They equally outlined some of their expectations and called on everyone to join in as they celebrate their anniversary.
We expect to see, really, most people have never seen a male celebrant who will be the pronuncio. People, we are expecting to see him and even feel his presence among us. We are also expecting to see many women, many men joining us to celebrate. Why not children? Just like the cadets, we expect to see them. And
our expectations, we just think that the population we'll see here will be uncountable. Mamas are so excited about it. Everybody is excited about it, and want to thank our radio station, Divine Mercy Radio and Television, for doing a lot to publicize it.
60 years is a very significant age in the life of everyone, especially the woman, and attaining it comes with lots of work, discipline, sacrifice, and to some extent pain. Thus, after toiling and soiling to this point, the tail end is nothing short of lots of excitement and joy. And the CWA women can be said to be in this kind of shoe as they will be gathering on Wednesday to celebrate their Golden Jubilee.
Meantime, preparations continue to gain steam as the women across the national territory converge on Boya Grandstand this day for a march past. In the course of this march past, the mothers of the church, together with their bishop, His Lordship Michael Bibi, processed to the St. Anthony of Padua Parish, Boya Town, where the seat of the association was planted by Mami Anna Foncha. In the course of this pre-peak celebration, there was then the unveiling of the renovated grotto of the Blessed Virgin Mary, in which it is blessed and dedicated by the prelate of the Diocese of Boya. Let's take a listen to an excerpt of the National Chaplain of the CWA, Reverend Father Nkwan, as he gives the liturgical importance of the blessing of the grotto.
Actually, this is a monument in honor of the Blessed Virgin Mary. The Blessed Virgin Mary is the patron and model of the Catholic Women's Association Cameroon. And so when they were celebrating the Golden Jubilee of the CWA, this monument was put up with the statue of the Virgin Mary to remember the work that these women, through the inspiration of the Blessed Virgin Mary, had done in the country for 50 years. Now we're celebrating the Diamond Jubilee of the CWA, which means that there are 60 years, so it's 10 additional years. After the inauguration, they noticed that it was falling a bit into disrepair and was not worthy of the Mother of God. So a project was taken up to renovate the monument and make it fit for the honor that is given to the Blessed Virgin Mary, and also in commemoration of the celebration of this Diamond Jubilee. So today was actually the blessing of this monument, which will continue to remind the Christians of the work that the Blessed Virgin Mary is doing in the church, and she has done in the CWA for the past 60 years.
That was Reverend Father Augustine Quine, the National Chaplain of the CWA. Now moving on, in order to thank God for guardians and protection for the 2023-2024 academic year, students of Biaka University Institute of Boya and their chaplain, Reverend Father Frank Bayong, all converge on Our Lady of Grace Shrine, Sase, for their annual pilgrimage. This one-day pilgrimage, July 20, 2024, centered on the theme, Lord, that I may see. Engage the students in spiritual activities such as confession, educational talks, and prayers. Nadesh Nenchong-me was there over the weekend and compiled this report.
The over 40 students of Biaka University Institute of Boya came out in their numbers for their annual pilgrimage to thank God for a successful 2023-2024 academic year. They made the spiritual journey to Our Lady of Grace Shrine, led by their chaplain, Reverend Father Frank Bayo. The chaplain, Reverend Father Frank Bayo, outlined their reasons for the come together.
I've decided to come here for this annual pilgrimage. In fact, it is going to be happening like this every year to kind of give the student another touch. All of they have been studying all this while, and we felt it was necessary for them to come and have this pilgrimage, to come and spend time with God, to come to this place of blessing, this place of mercy, this place of forgiveness.
To seek God's blessings and mercy, these students engage themselves in spiritual activities such as rosary prayer, confessions, talks, amongst others. This year's theme was centered on Lord, that I may see, an opportunity for the students to have an encounter with Christ.
The theme that we chose for this pilgrimage is Lord, that I may see. Lord, that I may see. And we use the blind man Bartimaeus. We have come to this place with all our impurities. We have come here with all our weaknesses. We have come here with all our sins. We have come here with all sorts of problems. And we come to ask God to give us yet another chance. Lord, that we may see again. Lord, we have made all sorts of mistakes. but we have come again because we know that it is only with you that mercy can be found.
After a day of deep prayers and reflection at the spiritual scene at Our Lady of Grace Shrine, the students appraised the one-day pilgrimage and what they are taking back home.
I think my retreat for today was very spiritual and it took me back to God. I was very happy to meet others so we can at least praise God together.
And I'm very excited because this is my first time to experience a holy ground like this since I'm a non-Catholic Christian. I feel so fulfilled listening to the bishop, the priest, or is it the father's teaching. I've learned a lot and I want to say I would love to have this kind of experience again.
I was blessed being here. I prayed for God to have mercy on me and I'm fulfilled and I know that I'm forgiven and I'm born again.
Biaka came with this idea. I was so excited. I was so excited. And actually I came here with the intention that I will be healed because it's 1 year now and I've not regained my health. So when I entered this place and I noticed it was a spiritual ground, I had to pray. And unfortunately, I'm with so much joy. I'm sound and healthy.
It is therefore safe to say that the one-day annual pilgrimage was a spiritually filled and exciting one as the students turned out in their numbers to have a time with their Creator.
Now, the Our Lady of Grace Shrine Sase is a deeply rooted spiritual center in the Diocese of Boya. The sacred site, nestled amidst serene surrounding, holds special significance for pilgrims seeking spiritual solace and communion, including its facilities. Nadesh Nenchung May spoke to the director of Our Lady of Grace Shrine Sase and now tells us more.
During their first visit in May 29, 2024, Our Lady of Grace College, Moyoka, was covered with weed. The campus was in dire need of repairs and cleanup. This recent transformation at the campus is noticeable. The once shredded in neglect campus now stands out after a series of work carried out. This visit by the Education Secretary was to evaluate the work covered. He noted the change, stating he is impressed with the progress of work.
I think it's a pleasure for me to be here again, after the first visit that we made some time ago. That's almost like a month and a half ago. And when we came here the first day, the whole place was in the bush. Our current visit now, there's a lot of change. It's a lot of change. Looking at the compound, people have harvested what they planted. They have cleaned the compound. So I think I'm very impressed with what I'm seeing here today.
The extensive renovations covered so far include cleaning, electrifications work, repairs of doors, and water circulation, as outlined by the school's principal, Reverend Father Lucien Moa.
Far we have been working, we have been cleaning to make sure that we mean what we say when we say that school should come back in Our Lady of Grace. Besides the cleaning, we have been able to restore electricity back into the campus, thanks to the Bishop Michael Bibi, who was able to give us the funds that were needed for this great work. Again, we have been able to trace the main line of water supply. You know how important it is for us to have this great commodity water in the community and in our school year. So we are happy that we have been able to trace the main line. So what we need to do now is to bring the water fully into the campus and distribute to the various areas that are supposed to have water.
The principal of Our Lady of Grace College, Moyoka, has his vision set for this college already. He is determined to ensure that the school tops in her performance.
My vision for this college, when you have put all your eggs in one basket, for us we are grammar, and for that reason, our vision is that we are going to produce the best minds in science, the best minds in journalism, and whatever field that can come out of this grammar education that you can think of.
The Education Secretary prescribed courage to the principal, assuring him of the support of the education family of the diocese.
What I can tell the principal is courage. I know it's not easy to begin a school that was once there, and with the popularity that school had, with the prestige that school had, and then after a long time it went dead and you are coming to revive again. So it's just to say courage to him, and we are there to support him in whatever dimension he needs our support.
Adding to the spiritual dimension, the newly appointed school chaplain, Reverend Father Pontiano Stita, emphasized the spiritual well-being of their prospect students. He underscores the school's commitment to a holistic education.
I think spiritually we are set to receive the students, and we are assuring the parents and the population, Moyoka and its environment, that we are forming not only intellectual giants but also spiritual giants.
As work continue at Our Lady of Grace College, Moyoka, gratitude are being echoed to the Bishop, proprietor of Catholic schools and colleges in the diocese.
For that mix-up, that was rather Hillary Clinton reporting about the abandoned state of the Our Lady of Grace College, Moyoka, which has witnessed significant transformation. As you saw there, the Catholic Education Secretary of the Diocese, Reverend Father Vincent Mesue, alongside the school's principal and chaplain, paid another inspection visit to the campus to assess the progress of work at the institution as it gears up for the 2024-2025 academic year. Now we come back to this one. Our Lady of Grace Shrine Sase is a deeply rooted spiritual center in the Diocese of Boya. The sacred site, nestled amidst serene surrounding, holds special significance for pilgrims seeking spiritual solace and communion, including its facilities. Nadesh Nenchung Me spoke to the director of Our Lady of Grace Shrine Sase. Her report.
The Our Lady of Grace Shrine, located in Sase, is one of the spiritual centers where Christians in Boya and beyond come to have a spiritual encounter with Christ. The shrine is made up of a chapel for perpetual adoration, a mini auditorium with an estimated 100 seating capacity, including a security post, and a shop for sales of religious articles such as rosaries, Bibles, crosses, amongst others. Reverend Father Nicholas Happy is in charge of these spiritual centers and says the shrine is distinguished by its natural waterfall, a tranquil spot where pilgrims can immerse themselves.
This place is there to help people, those who want to discourage themselves with their common place, to come for encounter God, to meditate with God. And here, the place is always open to all the people, not only for the Catholic, all the people that they are in search of God. The activity we have at Lady of Grace, every last Friday of the month, we have a vigil from 8 p.m. to morning time, and every day the place is open from 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. We are closed at 5 p.m. for the security purpose. This is what we are doing here for now. And every Sunday, between 10:30 or 11, we have Mass.
The Our Lady of Grace Shrine Sase stands as a beacon of hope and faith, welcoming all who seek to journey closer to God's kingdom. For some believers, it is more than a place of worship. It is a sanctuary where lives are transformed and faith is strengthened.
Whenever I'm stressed or I'm going through something, if you see me here, know that there's something inside me that I want to live. I know that people will say that you go to church and you talk to God in church, and yes, but this place just has a certain level of peace that you get anytime that you are here. And I'm going to encourage anybody that is feeling heavy, is feeling one way, come and talk to God.
I the only hear about shrine, Catholic shrine. I say, well, I don't always hear about this place. I say, maybe too, I take my own eye, I can't see her. Then I make my own prayer to I will make a holiday for help my own self with her. So I don't come now. I can't cry for Papa God. May hear my own cry for wait away they worry me too. So now the thing that way it bring me for here. I say maybe too I can't see the place. Place not some fine place for any man for cancer. Well, you figure your own problem too where they worry you. You come for this. You can't cry for Papa God to me here. Wait to be a problem.
if you solve your own problem.
For security purpose, the shrine opens and closes its doors from 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. and ensures accessibility with organized bus services, facilitating pilgrims' movement to and fro the sacred ground.
Moving on, professional code of ethics have been adopted by Christian Rehabilitation Network of Cameroon and its stakeholders. This was during a two-day conference that took place from the 19th to the 20th of July 2024 at Repacol in Mutengene, bringing together practitioners of the rehabilitation field from across the country. Details with Hilarion Clinton, who attended the closing ceremony.
The conference, hosted by Ash Dibanda at Repacol Mutengene, spanned from the 19th to the 20th of July 2024. The conference marked the inaugural gathering of the association, drawing rehabilitation specialists from across Cameroon. The adoption of a professional code of ethics was a pivotal moment during the conference, reflecting a unifying commitment among practitioners to uphold the highest standard of the practice. The code of ethics aims at guiding professionals in their interaction with clients, ethical decisions making, and the overall enhancement of services delivered across rehabilitation centers in Cameroon. George Fola is the National Coordinator of Christian Rehabilitation Network of Cameroon.
And we have come up with a code of ethics that we are going to follow, and we have developed a way of ensuring continuous professional development amongst ourselves so that the staff, the personnel are well equipped to deliver the services with compassion and with empathy as Christ, who is our role model.
The national coordinator further outlined the objectives of this conference. He noted the conference as a wonderful come together.
I came to this meeting with the objective to set high quality standard for rehabilitation in Cameroon, and I can say that this has been a wonderful come together and very successful because we had close to 100 participants who came all the way from regions in Cameroon.
Participants on their part lauded the conference for its inclusive approach and the opportunity it provided to share best practices and innovative strategies in rehabilitation services. Many voiced satisfaction with the outcome of the conference.
Physiotherapy by profession. I came to this conference because I want to see what they have to offer and equally see the way forward for rehabilitation services in Cameroon, and to see that the services can be harmonized in such a way that everywhere you go you can render the same services, and equally to learn, because every opportunity in my life is to learn and to share knowledge with others. So my experience so far concerning the conference has been a good one.
My name is Mbulusi and I'm here representing ASH. It is my very first time to be in a conference of such a magnitude due to its inclusiveness.
I am Fanfon Timothy, that's my name, and I am very happy about this conference. We have come to the end of the conference and we are going home full actually. We are full because we are going home having achieved, to me, some very two key things that I can say is the take home. The first one is that we have developed a document that is going to monitor continuous professional development for rehabilitation workers. Only we have adopted a code of ethics for practice. That means these are standards that are higher than all of us.
The national coordinator, George Fola, a physiotherapist by profession, called on participants to practice and implement the resolutions adopted at the conference.
The participants, they should practice what we have decided here. They should implement them in their various workplaces. They should not relent this effort. For standards to be high, each and everyone needs to put in his own effort.
It is believed that the adoption of the professional code of ethics will serve as a cornerstone for this association that is determined to lead the way in setting a benchmarks for the ethical practice in the field of rehabilitation that will benefit both practitioners and individuals the same.
You're welcome back. In the upcoming story, we feature an entrepreneurial lady who has acquired marketable skills and now imparts them on young children on holidays to guarantee their employability. Bella Cakes Academy here in Boya graduated the 9 trainees in a third batch over the weekend, as she also advised parents to engage their children in gaining skills during holidays. Jutumbaku reports.
Every long holidays, parents choose how to engage their children, while others stay at home doing nothing. Some go along the streets hawking. But these 9 girls, from the ages of 7 to 17, have chosen to make judicious use of their time.
My name is Camila. I'm 8 years old. I learned how to bake vanilla.
For 1 month, they have learned the art of baking. Today is their graduation at the Bella's Cake in Malingo, Boya. The trainer, Nyo Blandine, is fulfilled for what these children have been able to achieve so far in her academy.
This has also inspired me to want to groom younger people. I started baking as a child, at a very, very young age, very, very tender age. And here I am, I own my own bakery and I teach other people. So a skill is something that will never die, especially if you nurture it. And these children learning this skill, they are able now to bake for themselves if they don't want to monetize it, or even monetize it. It has empowered them. It's going to help them in a lot of ways. They can even teach others. They are now one step ahead of any child who has just sat in the house during this holiday.
Blandine adds that this is the fastest way of creating jobs in Cameroon amongst young people, by picking skills at even tender ages.
Our society, our country, Cameroon, is a third world country, and a lot of times we suffer from lack of jobs. This skill is a whole job creation opportunity. This is me empowering the society and children to be able to create jobs for themselves, to teach other people to make something that's going to keep them busy and very occupied.
On this day, parents and guardians who showed up were marveled at the cake flavors designed by these kids. They took turns to present them and share their joys with their parents and guardians.
My name is Chamboli Suzanne and I'm 12 years old and I'm going to Form 2. When I go back to school, I'll be baking banana cakes, putting in burgers and going to be selling to my friends at school.
My name is Ewana Janelle. Coconut cake, banana cake, and vanilla cake.
My name is Frinmi Favor. I'm 12 years old and I'm going to Form 3. I think this is a good trade, like good something that somebody can be doing during the holiday time. I've learned how to do pastries and bakeries, like bake cake, make hamburger, make many things.
Thank you very much. It's like your life depends on it. It means very well. And I'm like, okay, I don't know how to use an oven. How are we going to do? Let me call your mother.
Fun moments they had, exchanging their experiences out of the classroom setting. Nyo Blandine, the CEO of Bella Cake, says she will continue encouraging everyone to send their children to pick skills as such, and even adults are not left out. This way, the children will engage themselves better during the holidays, avoid distraction and pick skills that will help them in the future.
Quite enterprising for those young ones there. Now on to news out of Cameroon. US President Joe Biden on Sunday, July 21, made a surprising announcement revealing that he will not seek re-election against Donald Trump, but endorse Kamala Harris as a new Democrats candidate. And Israeli fighter jets on Saturday struck Yemen port city of Hodeidah a day after a drone launched by Iranian-backed Houthi rebels hit Tel Aviv. Details of these international stories and more will be also in the next report. The decision taken by U.S. President Joe Biden, shared on social media, caused a stir in the political landscape and added a new layer of uncertainty to the upcoming election. Alex Wills, a Democratic voter from Beaverton, Oregon, said Biden's diminished capacity was obvious to everyone, saying it is really sad to see someone go through that. Following his disastrous performance in the televised debate against Donald Trump on June 27, many Democratic lawmakers advised him to abandon his bid for re-election. Joe Biden promised to provide more insight into his decision in a forthcoming address to the nation. In a show of support, Biden endorsed Vice President Kamala Harris as the new Democratic candidate, with Harris expressing determination to secure the nomination. Meanwhile, Republican leaders criticized Harris, holding her partly accountable for the current administration's policies. The African Union convened in Ghana on Sunday to address issues related to African integration and to establish a unified stance before engaging with the G20 and UN. Mauritania's president and current African Union chair, Mohamed Sheikh Ghazouani, urged for the acceleration of the African integration process. He stressed the importance of expediting economic integration to support the continent and fulfill the aspirations of African citizens. Discussions during the meeting centered on financing mechanisms for African Union projects, particularly the funding of the organization itself, which heavily relies on contributions from known African partners. African Union Commission Chairperson Musa Faki Mahamat highlighted the necessity for member countries to present a united front in upcoming engagements with international partners. With ongoing regional instability in West Africa, ECOWAS nations Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso risk losing their memberships due to military coup that ousted democratically elected leaders in these countries. Elsewhere, reports say at least 3 people were killed and 87 wounded in strikes which the Israel Defense Forces IDF said were military targets. A Houthi spokesperson, Brigadier General Yahya Saree, has slammed what he called the blatant aggression by Israel and said Yemeni armed forces would retaliate. He said the attack targeted the power station that supplies electricity as well as the port and fuel tanks, all of which are civilian targets. A media outlet controlled by Houthi rebels, Al Masira TV, said there was a large fire at the port and that power cuts were widespread. Meanwhile, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, in a televised address on Saturday night, described Hodeidah as an empty point for weapons from Iran. Many thanks for viewing, televiewers. That wraps up this edition of Divine Mercy Prime. But before we go, we remind you of our top stories. This week's televised catechetical program of Boya Diocese, known as Know Your Faith, comes back to St. Charles Luanga Parish in Moliko. Today's session with the teacher of the faith, His Lordship Michael Bibi, pricked audience to a deeper understanding of the sacrament of baptism. Members of the Catholic Women Association CWA have started arriving Boya ahead of their Diamond Jubilee and convention that starts on Wednesday, 24 July 2024. Biaka University Institute of Boya, BUIP, takes a day to honor God for the life of that institution. They had an annual pilgrimage to the shrine in Sase over the weekend. And also, we took you to this feature where some young people who are making good use of the long holiday picking marketable skills. Bella Cakes Academy here in Boya is one shiny example in engaging these children for a brighter future. Thanks once again for viewing. I have been smiling for presentation. Do take the rendezvous for tomorrow, 7 p.m. I will be here for another edition of Divine Mercy Prime, God willing. Bye-bye, and keep it locked down on Divine Mercy Radio and Television for more interesting programs.